afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time in the world it is where you're watching. How are we, people? Liverpool have just made their final signing of the summer, unless there's any absolute madness in the final hour, which if there is, me and Mike have got you covered. You don't need Sky Sports News. You don't need all these other things. You just need me and Mike tonight. So, yeah, Liverpool have just signed Ryan Gravenberch. It's signed, sealed, delivered, and announced. But before we get into that, Mike, how are you, my friend?
Mate, I am good. I'm tired. It's a late one for me and you, brother. It's a late one. But listen, brother, I'm great. I feel really good right now. I'm happy we have someone over the line. I think a lot of people got nervous when Bayern's
Mhm.
transfer deals went through. I seen Twitter melting down as usual. But no, man, I'm happy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to make it about me, but obviously, I'm not going to go into it too much detail. But if you follow my Twitter, you'll know that this week's been a bit of a week from hell for myself. So, um, if you have reached out to me privately or on the timeline, I massively appreciate it. But apart from that, mate, the football side of things, I'm absolutely buzzing. So, yeah, I mean, let's get straight into it, Mike. Let's get straight into the business end of it
Mm.
all. But before we do that, I must shout out the people in the stream. It would be very rude of me not to.
Big up.
Go on.
No, I'll say right now, big up Anfield, lad. Big up my guy. Always a regular. We love you,
Always in
brother.
here, first one every single time. Big up
Always.
yourself, mate. Iso says hello, guys. Jaden says yo. I'd I'd say that was a 8. We'll get into the rating very soon. Hold that thought,
Mm.
Michael. But midfield was a great job with the signings, but I think we still could use a centre back. Massive topic that me and Mike will be discussing. Alexander says I'm good. What a signing? Yeah. Orthodox says yes, lads. How are we, mate? Hope all is good. Make sure you smash the like button on this stream, guys, because like Mike said, we are way past the time we normally stream. We normally do streams at 7 p.m. So this is quite a late one. But let's get straight into it. Liverpool have announced, if I can share my screen, boom, there we go, right before we came live. And Mike, I know I've not been on the pod recently. I think the last pod I was on was the Newcastle preview, and just completely off topic. I've not had anything to say about that game, but that was the best game I've ever been to, and it will never be topped. Just saying. But I did catch a bit of the stream when this was sort of up in the air, Mike. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you wasn't that sure on it. But now he's here. He's in a red shirt. He's leaning against the exercise bike that was the from the original picture of him in the Liverpool shirt.
Yeah.
They've recreated it. How are you feeling now, mate? What do you think of this signing? Has your opinion changed? Do you still think it's maybe not what we
Yeah.
needed? Or
Yeah.
yeah, talk me through it,
I
mate.
mean, listen, you are right. You did catch my energy right in the last stream when we were talking about it. I like him as a signing. I think he's a really good signing. I really do. I don't think he's the player we necessarily needed, but I'm very happy we have him. I think technically brilliant. There's so much talent there. I think getting him for the price we did as well. I think it's a bargain. I've seen people obsess how much we spent on him. I think for the price and the caliber that this player is and can be, I think it's a fantastic one. I'm not going to be negative. We need so positive. We should be focused on the positives to start, right? I'm happy we got him in. I think he'll bring a lot to the team. I think he brings a physicality to midfield that maybe we are lacking, especially with Fabinho out. He's 6'4", big physical presence. He can take the ball from
6'2", I
box to
think.
box. Say what?
I think he's 6'2".
6'2". Ah, he's bigger in my head. Pause. But like, it's
Whoa, wow.
listen.
Carry on.
10 o'clock. No,
Yeah,
just
it's got
listen, man.
watershed, to be fair. Yeah, give you
Yeah,
that.
past watershed, it's all good. But now listen, I don't know about you, man. I feel like he could slide in alongside McAllister in the pivot. He could play part of a dynamic three with him and Szoboszlai, but I'm not going to be a tactician, bro. I've never been a coach, but I see enough of them on the timeline.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. Look, I completely understand the reservations, and I think had we have signed him and a DM, there would be no sort of conversation about Gravenberch. Everyone would be on the same page, and I think it's very important to separate the two. Did we need a defensive midfielder? Yes, we did. We got one Endo, but come on, let's be honest. Is he the one we all wanted? No, but they got one technically. So if they were to have gone out and signed Lavia or Caicedo and bought on Gravenberch alongside it, then it's a complete different conversation. So I don't think it's fair to, just because some fans may not be happy with the 6 that we've got or the 6 that we didn't get, to sort of overlook this signing and what Gravenberch can potentially go on to do for our club, because I've made this point very clear over the last few days when this whole thing came out. It was only a year to 18 months ago. This lad was put in the same sentences as a certain English midfielder, and I'm not talking about Jordan Henderson. Talking about Jude Bellingham, one that got away, of course, from us. He was one of them coming through. They sort of had the same breakout at the same sort of time. There were so many young midfielders, upcoming prospects in Europe, and Ryan Gravenberch coming through Ajax was one on everyone's lips. And obviously, when he went to Bayern Munich, everyone was like, "Wow, how have they only got him for 20 odd mil?" It's not necessarily worked out for him there. And to Thomas Tuchel's credit, he came out today and basically took fault for that. He said it was our system that pretty much let him down. We don't use eights. We don't have the opportunity for him to play, and he's going to go to Liverpool and he's going to get those opportunities. So I think the whole narrative that people were trying to set about him being lazy and him not working hard enough, he's rubbish that straight away for me, because he even said that he works hard, he's energetic, he'll battle. All of those things Thomas Tuchel said that he does. They just couldn't get him in. And that was always the issue. I don't know why they signed him. Maybe it was a committee sort of signing and it wasn't in the manager's hands. I'm not sure who the manager was when they did sign him, in fairness. It may have been the dude that won all the trophies, Flick. It may have been him. I can't remember. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you know who signed Ryan Gravenberch from Bayern Munich. But it seems like maybe in hindsight, it was one of those opportunistic signings that we talk about where, okay, Gravenberch comes available for 20 million. It's too much of a good opportunity for Bayern to turn down. And you fast forward all this time and it's not worked out for him. But at the end of the day, mate, he's still 21 years of age. The potential doesn't seem to have gone anywhere because there were clubs in for him. As Man United wanted him. A few clubs were trying to chase him down this summer, and ultimately we're the ones that won. So I think it's a very exciting signing. Again, I'm like you, mate. I'm not gonna sit here and give you some sort of tactical breakdown on what he can do to our system, because let's be honest, none of us have watched more than 5 games of Ryan Gravenberch. But what I do know about him, what I've read about him from people that do those things as a literal job, you know, his ceiling is very high and he's a very exciting player. 6'2", like we said, very technical, loves to drive forward with the ball, which is just music to our ears, mate. How many times last season were we urging our midfielders to just drive forward with the ball, go on a run with it, make something creative happen? So in terms of the profile for our number 8s, he does fit the bill. But I'm just going to ask you a question, Mike. I watched the Road End podcast, I think it is. Absolutely fuming myself, I forgot that wrong. But they did a podcast with Ryan Babel today.
Oh,
and
wow.
Ryan Babel said he obviously knows of him. He played with him when he was 18. Ryan Babel said we will be doing him wrong if we put him in as the 6, because he was basically saying he can offer so much more than a number 6. What do you think of that? Do you think this is something we're going to try and do, or do you think, you know, he is one of the combative midfielders that we were looking for that maybe has a mixture of roles that they can play in our team?
You know, I can't talk about him like I've seen him play 30 games. You know, I've seen him play a few games and I've read a lot about him. You know, I keep saying this. I've read a lot. I think it's too early to tell. I think I've seen this happen a lot with Klopp signings where we expect one thing from them and they turn into something else because they've got their own idea. You know, you think of Gakpo, brought him in as a winger. We were all confused by it. You think of Genie. You know, to an extent, you think of Hendo. You know, you think of Mane, right to left. I've seen it happen too many times with players we bring in where we all assume one thing and then we see another. I think in terms of his attributes, he can be anywhere in that midfield for us. I think if we want to mold him to a 6, he can become a fantastic 6. I think if we want to mold him to a box-to-box fully, he can thrive at that too. I just think it's too early for anyone to make a real judgment on him, which is exciting. You know, I think there's a lot of excitement in that because, and you know, you say his talent should be wasted by playing him in the 6. I mean, even when we've played with a 6, you know, when we've had Fabinho in there, I think Fabinho, he's allowed to play to his strengths, and I feel like Gravenberch, if we were to play him in that 6, would be able to play to his strengths as well. I don't think we would just sit him in front of the back 4 and just say, you know, get the ball and, you know, give it away, give it to the next person as soon as you can. I think his progressive ability in taking the ball from one box to the next or just drifting through a couple of players and releasing it is something that I think will just really take us to the next level in midfield. So it's incredibly exciting. I think what everyone wants to know though is how he fits in the midfield. What
Yeah.
is the plan? Are we going to continue playing the inverted? Is Gravenberch going to be our deepest line 3? Are we going to try and play McAllister deeper? I'm just curious. What do you think? I'm curious. What do you think? What do you think the overall plan of attack is going to be?
I think it's a case of horses for courses. Certain games are going to rely on different partnerships in the midfield. Maybe if you need somebody that has that technical flair that can unlock certain defenses, this guy will be an asset because his dribbling attributes and all of those things, where his progressive runs and all of those, like we say, the tactico stats, all the buzzwords really. This guy fits all of them, and it's important that we we do look back at his time at Ajax when we're looking at these things, because obviously at Bayern we don't have much to go by. But yeah, I just don't see how 1 year you can be the name in Europe when it comes to young central midfielders. Okay, it's not worked out for him at another club, to not being any good. Like, that makes no sense to me. And Liverpool, obviously, we know how careful they are with their scouting and their analysis. They've been tracking this guy for 3-4 years now, and now we've finally got the man. So first of all, I don't have any worries that he's going to fit in. Where do I see him fitting in? I think I'm not entirely sure what side I've seen him play on, to be fair. But like you say, Mike, it doesn't really matter what they've done in the past, because Gino Wijnaldum at Newcastle was more of a 10 on the wing. He was very attacking. He comes into our team and he's playing a much more reserved role, much more defensive minded, situation. So who's to say that's not going to happen again? Again, I'm not saying that, this is the answer to our 6 issues, because it's not. Fabinho was a destroyer and we don't have a destroyer in the squad now. But that's just got me thinking, is the way we're going to move forward just more technical flair, more ability on the ball, and try and win games that way? It's a big risk, isn't it? But if it plays off, Mike, we could potentially have 65-70% of the ball in the majority of the games we play. And, maybe back last season and the seasons gone by where we've won the Champions League and the Premier League, we've relied on destroyers because we didn't really have that technical brilliance in the side. Now we've got the technical brilliance and we've got hard work and determination with Szoboszlai and, what we've heard about Gravenberch today. Is it overrated how much we need that big destroyer? Because I saw a lot of people talking about Palhinha, a lot of people, talking about Amrabat and other defensive mids. Are you concerned that we haven't really brought in a destroyer for our destroyer that we let go?
I think you make a really good point about how we're going to play going forward. I think just judging off the signings we've made for the most part, say Pep Lijnders inspired. I know that is what a lot of people have said, but I've been saying that again as well. It's like Pep Lijnders has too much power in the transfer room. I'm like, come on, man, like sort your heads out. But I think when you look at it, you look at Gakpo, Diaz, the midfielders we've signed. They are in a different mold to the original. I don't know, call them, the OGs that we signed under Klopp. They are in a different mold. They are a lot more technical. They're a lot more progressive. I'd probably say they've got a lot more end product at one end of the pitch, but you could also argue that maybe defensively they're not as strong. So it is an interesting thing that we've decided to swap for. But I do think it's necessary, because I think as a team you have to progress. You can't just keep repeating the same old tactics. The only way you progress as a team, and you look at Man City, for example, every season there's a new element to them. There's a new unexpected twist to how they play, and they adapt, and the team adapts and the squad adapts. And that's something that I think Liverpool are now in the process of doing. We're transitioning from a counter-pressing team to maybe a more possession-based side that breaks teams down a little bit more, which I don't know how much of our old identity we're going to lose, because I think we are going to, as I say, the identity is just going to change. It's going to evolve. I think we'll still see the counter-pressing element. I think we've already seen that at the start of the season. There's a lot more energy in midfield. But I do think we're seeing a progression in how we play through midfield a lot more. I don't think we're going to be as reliant on Trent, for example, to unlock defenses. I feel like we've got a lot more unpredictability within our midfield, whereas I feel like our midfield of old, although fantastic, I feel like maybe they're a bit more predictable.
Speaking of Trent.
Yeah. Oh.
He's already met him. He's already spoken to him. He's already had a conversation with him on how these guys are going to cook opposition's, in games to come this season. Yeah, I'm just going to go through a few things from the announcement. We're going to go through a few
Mm.
quotes of what he's had to say himself. So first of all, we'll start with obviously the announcement. And then he says he's very happy that this is finally done. Of course, this is something that dragged on a bit. And like you said, Mike, a bit earlier on, there was a bit of a mini meltdown around 6 ish. You know, Palinia doesn't go to Bayern Munich. That falls through. You get a few journalists saying that it has an impact on this deal. But then about 25 minutes later, Joyce, Ornstein, Fabricio must have been briefed because they all came out at exactly the same time and said that, no, this isn't anything to do with that. You know, the deal's already done. Bayern Munich and Liverpool have already exchanged all the required documents. Gravenberch is a Liverpool player. He said, of course, it's one of the biggest clubs in the world. The fans, the stadium from the outside is top. And look, every single signing we've ever made in history has said that. But it is always nice to see. Before the move, I spoke to Virgin Cody. They said the team was top and everything is great here. Everything, not too sure if everything is great. I mean, it has been this season for sure. 2 wins and a draw. You know, 2 tough away games, and we come out with 4 points out of 6, and obviously the Bournemouth win. So far so good. So yeah, it's nice to see our boys tapping him up, isn't it? You know, Virgil, Cody have obviously had an influence. Like I said before, Mike, Ryan Babel's spoken to him. It's always nice to have people and players on your side, isn't it? Fighting for their mates to come and sign for us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ryan Babel had quite the impact for us. I think if you look at his little legacy, if anyone doesn't remember what he did to Howard Webb, but listen, it's great to see, and I think, as I say, I'm excited for him to kick on and get started. I'm actually really excited for the window to shut as well, because I think
me too.
as a fan base, we understandably so, because we need a centre back, we need a destroying defensive midfielder, and we haven't got that. But we need to put it behind us, and we just need to get on with the season now. They've got a plan. I part of me still believes that they have a plan, and there's a reason they've gone for the players they've gone for, and there's a reason they haven't gone for the players that we wanted them to, in some respects, But I think for me, it's the profile of player that we've targeted in this window. It's different to what you consider a standard Klopp midfielder, or of in his past at Liverpool. They're not engines. They're not just engines. They're not just workhorses. They're a lot more than that. And the age profile as well is really, really interesting. They haven't, mate, haven't they? Just, honest to God, have aged a decade in the last 3 months.
If we had time, we could sit here and count the amount of central midfielders that we've been linked with, that we've spoken on. I would guess it is 30 plus.
Easily.
Yeah.
Well, you think we started off the window thinking
Matthijs,
the rebuild.
Nunes,
I say
Mason
thinking the
Mount.
rebuild. Well, yeah, it was Nunes, Mount, Bellingham. Then you've had Lavia, you've had
Kearney.
Caicedo, you've had Calvin Phillips. I think the only midfielder we've not been linked to is Højbjerg, if I'm honest with you. It's the only one I've not seen.
It's been a long summer, and I agree with Mike. Once this stream's done, that's it. I'm not talking about transfers until after Christmas. But yeah, let's get on to some of these quotes then. He gave me such a warm feeling when he was talking about his first Klopp hug, and then they are talking about the master plan of what we're going to do with Ryan in the midfield. And he said that it's great to start with Jurgen Klopp. On Sunday, I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to hear You'll Never Walk Alone. I'm assuming he's probably not going to be in the squad. I know he's registered.
No, he's not. He didn't register in time. He'll be at the ground.
We report from somebody that he registered, but even if he did register, I doubt he'll be in the squad. I think he might, like you say, he might just be there to sort of see the ground, see the fans, watch the game, and then start training on the Monday. My friends were pushing for me to join Liverpool, and that I'm a good dribbler, player, box to box, and got a good shot. I mean, Mike, if that's what he has, mate, yeah. If what he's saying is true, then, like I said before, mate, we all know that maybe, okay, fine, Endo's not the most glamorous of signings. Maybe we probably could have done with a bit more quality, but if that's what he can offer, mate, we're in for a treat.
Mate, listen, we are. Listen, we got to be excited about this signing. I think, what's crazy? I think if we sign Lavia and then we sign him, everyone feels different.
Winning the league shouts.
So you'll have people going absolutely nuts. I think because it's weird, because I think Endo's a solid signing. It's just one of them. Is there a reason he has the number 33, 38, by the way? Do we know?
It
Is
was
there,
his old number, I think.
is that what it was?
I believe it was his number when he came through.
Yeah, chat. If anyone knows the reason to that, put it in the chat. But it is just curious. But listen, we've got to be excited about it. There's so much to be excited about. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sorry, he was wearing 38 at Bayern Munich as well. He did wear it at Ajax when he came through.
So it's his number. So it's like
Yeah,
Trent
then
with
he
his number.
swapped to 29 in 1920, and then he went to 8, and then went back to the 38 at Bayern Munich.
Mm.
So yeah, he's got some sort of attachment to it. But yeah, I mean, look, there's not really much more to say about Ryan Gravenberch. Has not been said. I think me and Mike are both on the same page. We're excited to see him. Let's get into the window as a whole then, Mike. This is what we've done so far with 35 minutes to spare. Again, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
No, come on.
I'm trying to get him to stay, Mike.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, guys, stay. We'll sign a centre back if we hit 50 likes.
I'm getting in my ear, guys. If you stay until 11 o'clock, someone's on the way.
Someone's on the way. Ben's gonna sign. Ben's gonna play centre back. If you guys get us to 25 likes, Ben is gonna play centre back.
Centre back. Oh gosh. This is what we've done, Mike. Started off amazingly. McAllister for 35 million. Then we got Szoboszlai for 60 mil, release clause. Then there was sort of a 2-week frame where, honestly, mate, I've not seen a timeline as toxic as those 2 weeks where we signed Szoboszlai. And by the way, 100%, 1,000,000% I'm better than Martinez. You already know. Anyway, yeah, it was horrible. But within reason, a lot of the stuff people were saying was valid. We just sold Fabinho for 40 million, sold Henderson for 20 million. There was nothing going on. Then we're dilly-dallying, flirting with the idea of getting Lavia. Then we put the mad bid in for Caicedo. Then we don't get Caicedo. We try and go back for Lavia. That doesn't happen. And then we're left with nobody. A few days later, we signed Endo. And then people think, you know what, that might be our window done. And then 2 days ago, we get the dagger that Liverpool are going to go in for Gravenberch. So summarize the window, mate. This is the last time we're ever going to speak on it because it has been mentally draining, physically draining, all of those things.
Penny to a pound. It's not the last time we speak on it, though, unfortunately, brother.
No.
Those spaces are ruthless.
I'm not joining a space talking about this again, bro. I'm going in spaces to discuss match reactions, and that is it. But yeah, summarize the window, mate. The good, the bad. In fact, do the good first. No, that doesn't make sense to do the good first, does it?
Bad first.
Do the bad first. What do you think we haven't done then? That we need.
I think we've. Okay, the bad. I think the majority get easily misled by media speculation, which leaves people to being a lot more disappointed than they need to be. I think on top of that, I don't think we've been ambitious enough with our. This is a big one. I don't think we've been ambitious enough in our star signing. I love Szoboszlai. I'm glad we have him. We should have been putting that money towards a star 6. Not a star box-to-box 8. I love Szoboszlai. He's going to be brilliant for us. I love him. I adore him. But I just would have rather us put that money into a star 6. I just really believe that. I think we've still got the quality going forward with or without Szoboszlai. We needed the quality in defense more than attack. That might be a niche opinion. I think the biggest disappointment at the window would, as I say, is the defensive midfielder. Not getting the centre back is tough. Positives. Not getting a centre back allows a young lad to come through. He looks good. He looks interesting. He'll get game time now.
At the same time.
Say what?
But there's also a level at the same time. Right?
There is, but I'm trying to talk on the positives. So, he's going to get his opportunity, right? He's going to get his opportunity. That's exciting. I love an underdog story, so good luck to Endo. I hope he proves everyone wrong, and I hope he has a great season. I love what we've done, as I say, signing McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, technically brilliant, age perfect, profile so dynamic, versatile. Love every single part of that. I love the fact that we've kept a hold of certain players. Ergo, your Salahs, your Diaz. I love the look of the team. I think we've got a youthful team. I think we've got a very exciting team. And yeah, man, listen, a perfect window would have seen us sign maybe a different defensive midfielder and a centre back. It's not to be. Let's get on with it. I think there's so much to be excited about with this team, though. What are your thoughts? When you look at our team now, what did you think of the window? Positives, negatives? How do you feel?
I agree with what you just said. To be fair, mate, I think the midfield. No, look, I've never really been too involved in the glamorous signings, the big, like they say, marquee players. For me,
Mm,
it's always been the right player. It's not about dropping 70 million on a name. I'm not saying that's what you were getting at, but you
mm.
know, people are obsessed with like the glamour of sign, and I get it. You do want the big names every now and again, but for me, when Dominic Szoboszlai, as soon as he was linked, I don't know, like a light bulb just went off in my head, and I thought, yeah, I can see this. Like this one sounds like a good one. And then you read about his profile, you see him in preseason, you automatically see, okay, yeah, this guy's a runner. This guy's a machine. Like this guy's almost superhuman the amount he can run, which it sounds absolutely mental, but we didn't have that last season. We didn't have somebody that ran the socks off for 90 minutes in midfield. Maybe they'd run for 60 minutes, but not a full 90. Like so many times they just looked lethargic and lacked energy and just like they couldn't be bothered to be there. But from so far what we've seen in Dominic Szoboszlai, my only concern is we can't we can't just rely on this guy because he's going to blow himself out by Christmas. So I think
Yeah,
that's important to when people say about the midfielders, we've got loads now. We didn't need Gravenberch because we got this, we got that. Yeah, but when you look at the players that we've lost Henderson, we lost Fabinho, we lost Ox, we've lost Naby, we've lost Milner, and we've replaced them with four bodies that touchwood don't really have injury concerns as it stands. I'm more than happy with that. Yes, of course, and I will die on this hill. Endo, we don't know about him yet. He's not really played. Well, he hasn't played in a full 90 for us with 10 men, with 11 men. Sorry, but I still would have probably preferred somebody better, somebody with more experience, a bit of a younger age profile. Of course, nobody can deny that. But with the other three, I always said at the start, because I know Gravenberch was a name that was linked with us for a while. I always said if he's one of three or four coming in, then I'm very happy with that. And he is. He's one of three or four coming in. So I'm happy with that. Alexis McAllister, I saw with my own two eyes how good that guy was against us on two occasions, possibly three actually. Um, and yeah, very delighted. Absolute bargain. Could go down as the bargain of the summer. And Dominic Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, both of those two, big fans of. However, you are right. We probably have left ourselves short again. Even if it's not for the midfield spots, even if you're happy with those spots, we're 3 games in, and I know Virgil isn't available because of his own doing, and I thought it was a bit of a harsh red card, but his antics after, maybe he should have kept them a bit more
yeah.
calmer.
He kind of shot
But
himself in the foot, I suppose.
yeah, but my point is, we're 3 games in, Mike. Without Virgil, obviously for his own doing. Konate's already got an injury. We're down to Gomez and Matip for Aston Villa and Jarrell Kwanzaa. So I just don't understand, and maybe you can give some sort of idea why was this not addressed? Why did we not get a centre back? Have they looked at the numbers and just thought, okay, well, we have got 5, so we're fine? Like, what do you think was the reason for not addressing the centre back when even 5 months ago, mate, we did a stream on this channel and it was me, it was Shigs, and it was Elliot. And we all said then that we need another centre back without anyone going. So why have the club not addressed this?
It's. I think. I think we're picky when in the market. I feel like we're not always necessarily picky with some areas. We'll have a list of players, can't get one, get the other. I think with this particular profile, I think we're trying to sign the Van Dijk replacement long term.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to sign a left-sided centre back that's willing to wait. I read the articles, that is willing to be bled in throughout the next year or so. It's Van Dijk replacement is what it sounds like we're trying to get to. Not many people are going to be able to play that role and fit exactly what we're looking for. I think it was a case of if we could find the right thing on the market, we'll go for it. Levi Colwill was probably the only one on the market that the club would have looked at and said, yeah, prem experience, young, not injury prone, good playing out the back, physical presence, can play our style, can also play as a left back if needed. So that was probably the only. It's such a unique profile as well that they're requesting. And you see the people that say, you got is it Inacio from
Mhm.
Portugal? I think the reality that we need to look at there, though, is as well as like the step up from Portugal to the Prem is vast, and you can do it as a midfielder and a striker and get bedded in. As a defender, it's a lot harder. A lot harder to do. And, you even look at Pedro Porro, phenomenal going forward for Spurs. He's very questionable defensively. It's because Portuguese don't have, Portuguese defenses don't get put under the same type of thing that you do in the Prem. And you see that every time we go and play Porto away. You know what I mean? What was that last one? If we can't
It's
play
about Gravenberch, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going back a bit, but obviously we talk about centre backs.
That's it for me. I feel like we just didn't have the right profile. I know a lot of people will say, well, we've had all summer to get one. It's not on the market. It's not there. And I think we kind of ran into a similar thing with defensive midfielders, to be honest. You had Lavia. Caicedo was never really an option. I know we went for him, but he never felt like an option, You had Lavia, who was, Lavia was overpriced. We were doing our best to negotiate it down. And then we kind of shot ourselves in the foot by going for Caicedo and making Lavia feel like second choice.
Yeah.
Decore, I like Decore, but overpriced. Andre.
For 50 mil, probably, yeah, but 70.
For 70,
just...
no. Polina, overpriced, maybe out of the age bracket. So, and then you go, what? Andre from South America, he's just finished the season. You want to get a guy to play back-to-back seasons?
I think we'll get him.
You think we'll get him?
I think we'll get him in Jan, yeah. I've got a feeling that Thiago will go and he'll come in.
It makes sense. I can see Thiago going and Andre being the step, and I feel like we could do that thing we did with Mane and Diaz, where you bring the replacement in January. I can see that, definitely. I'm not against it. I'm more than happy for that price. If we bring Andre in, that's great. But Thiago's kind of proven that he's not necessarily.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
What's sad? Thiago?
Thiago is honestly, hand on heart, one of the most technically gifted players you'll ever see at this football club. You won't see many better than him technically. You won't. That's a fact. That guy is so good at football and playing the game. But again, we found out today there's a setback, which is just so sad because, it wasn't long ago we were like, oh, yeah, that's, try and hope that Thiago can overcome these injuries. But we just feel like we're saying it time and time and time again with Thiago. And if there was a bid that came in this window, which obviously there hasn't been and there won't be with 25 minutes to go, I think we probably would have or should have cashed in. And I know there was some interest from Saudi. And you can look, this is not me bashing Thiago. No, we're not saying Thiago's leaving in Jan, Georgie. We're saying that Andre might sign in Jan.
No. You know what, Ben? No. Georgie, he's leaving in Jan, all right? He he texted me directly, right? And he said, Mike, listen, break it on the pod. I'm leaving in Jan. And I said, listen, I'll break it, Teagues, all right? Trust me, check my following, bro. Thiago follows me, all right?
Yeah, just going back to my thing, like that's just the most frustrating thing. Sorry, I had to stop you there.
I understand. It was sarcasm. It's like, you got it.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating because the quality is there. Everyone can see it. Stevie Wonder would be able to see how good this guy is at football. You know what I mean? He's that good.
Do you think he was a successful signing?
What?
Genuinely, do you think? Because I'll tell you this now, and I don't mean this in a way of like maybe I'm biting at a few things I've seen. I feel like if you buy a midfielder in, if I put to you, to be honest, I'll actually say this. I think this could get clipped and look awful come the end of the season. I think if you look at Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's had a very similar career at Liverpool.
Oh, I'm glad you said at Liverpool.
At Liverpool. Oh, Jesus, at Liverpool. Listen, Thiago technically is one of the best players I've ever watched live. Like, absolutely blessed to have ever seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's undoubtedly he's came in. He's had so many injuries. In terms of the amount we paid for him, paid 20 mil. The wages we're paying him are pretty steep. In terms of the game time he's getting. When he's on the pitch, he's brilliant.
Getting him on the pitch.
But he's getting him on the pitch. And we had the same thing with Ox for ages. Don't get me wrong. I know near the end of Ox. And same with Naby. Well, I can't put Naby there because I didn't really see enough of Naby.
No, Naby showed the quality when he played, man. He did.
Do you think?
He did 100%.
I was never sold on Naby, bro. I was never sold.
Naby for me, Naby showed the quality that he had. Obviously, I'm not saying he was to Thiago's level, nowhere near it. But you're right, and I think other players have obviously Thiago's got the credit in the bank, his name and how good he's been in the game.
I think you're right. He's rode on the credit.
But he's got away with it a lot. I think if it was anybody else, the fan base by now would have get out. Or what are you doing? Like we're wasting money. Well, but, to answer your question, a success. The this lad says colon. I definitely don't believe we got the full potential at Thiago signing that we thought we would, and 100%,
I agree.
mate. When
Yeah.
he came in, eyebrows were raised. Liverpool Football Club had finally, like, before him, we'd signed players that we'd made to go on and be world class. When we signed him, we'd got the finished article. We just signed the world class player. Thiago Alcantara plays for my football club. Like the hype around that. I was at Alton Towers. I remember it as clear as day. I didn't care about Alton Towers for the rest of the day. All I cared about was Thiago Alcantara was at my football club.
I
Like,
love
as it's my mates, who's your midfielder? Who's your centre mid? Like, you
And
can't
they're
talk
like,
to me
bro, I'm
anymore.
trying to get on a ride. And you're like, nah, lad.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Was he successful? Well, is he successful signing? Look, if we win the Premier League and Champions League this season and he plays
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
Champions
can eat
League,
my
oh
words.
gosh, I forgot we're not in it. Oh no.
Ben, that's bad. That's
No,
bad.
okay. If we win the Premier League and Europa League this season and he's had some part to play in it, then you've got to look at the trophies at least, League Cup, FA Cup, and two of the big ones. Then yeah, but I know what you're saying.
Look back at the start of the window. I'm interviewing you here, Ben. But
No,
you
of
look back at the start of the window, right? Everyone was saying, yeah, to be honest, at the start of the window as well. I don't care. Everyone was saying get rid of Fab and Hendo. People were saying both. People wanted both gone. I know that now in hindsight, everyone goes, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't have got rid of Fab." Everyone wanted Fab gone, especially during last season. So I know people penny flip and they pick a side whenever they want to for their own narrative. A lot of people wanted Fab gone. What I'd always see though would be no matter what, we can't sell Thiago, and I never engage in debates on the timeline because it's hard to kind of have a nuanced conversation about it. But would we have been better off, or would we? We don't know how the season's going to go, but neutrally, do you think we'd be better off keeping Fab, selling Thiago, or keeping Hendo, selling Thiago, keeping one of those two, and then having the other one go? Because I currently believe.
Then what if that meant that we had 40 less million to play with?
Well, what would you take? Would you take the midfield we have now, or would you swap Thiago?
I said 5 months ago when we had that stream I mentioned earlier that we should sell Fabinho, so I'm not going to go back on that.
I respect you standing in it. I respect you standing in it. It's just
from what I saw from Fabinho last season, mate, I just feel like for him personally and us as a club moving forward, it's probably the best for both parties. And when you get 40 million for a 29-year-old that's, let's be honest, had a bit of a disastrous season, it's too good. It's too good money to pass up on. I'm just putting a tweet up, Mike, because there is a certain Egyptian that we want to talk about, but I want to get some people.
Let's get him in.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about him just now. I'm gonna try to get some tweets up from this morning, guys. Bear with me because I've got to scroll all the way down.
While you do that, I will sort of just give a bit of a back thing that everyone knows anyway. So for the last couple of weeks, all over the timeline, we have been seeing links to Mohamed Salah going to the Saudi League, including a lot of journalists from over there and a lot of unreliable journalists saying a bid was pending. There's always been a bid pending. The bid hasn't actually gone in until today. Where that changed. See a lot of people on the timeline panicking, thinking that he could go today. A lot of people saying that we should sell him today, and a lot of people saying selling him today would be crazy. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk Mo Salah. We're going to talk about everything that's happened today and what may happen in the future. So what's the first tweet?
Well, this was in the middle of me because before now, we've got a few admins on the case now. Big up to all our admins at TAT. They're all doing an incredible job. But yeah, up until the Gravenberch announcement, it was pretty much me all day. There was a couple of us chipped in there and there. But I was doing the Europa League draw. So I was watching that whilst at work, had it on one screen, tweeting away on my phone. And then I've just seen all these come out, and I was like, oh my gosh, like honestly, this is already tough work as it is. Now I need to report on Mo Salah. And yeah, like we can see on the screen now from David Ornstein, one of, if not the, the
GOAT.
Yeah, pretty much of all transfers in 2023. He says Liverpool reject a verbal bid worth more than 100 million, substantial add-ons from Al Ittihad. LFC view the case as closed. And then following on from that one, Mike, just before we go, Paul Joyce said that Liverpool reject Al Ittihad bid for Mo Salah. The offer was 100 million, rising to 150 million. The club insists the player is not for sale and the case is closed. Mike, the club insists the case is closed. But my question to you is, do you think the case is closed?
For now, For now, it's closed. I think. Listen, our window closes in 18 minutes. I know people can hate our owners and have your own thoughts about them. They're not stupid enough to sell Salah when we can't buy a replacement. They're not. I said this in a space earlier. We would. It reminds me a lot of the Suarez and the Coutinho situation, probably with a lot less drama. I don't think Salah wants to leave, but I also do think that we might be in the situation where we go, right, next summer is going to be the summer, and we'll get that done early, and we'll get that money and we'll reinvest it the same way we did with the Suarez money, same way we did with the Coutinho money. You take your star player, you get the money, and you reinvest it in two positions. I don't think it's right. I want to make that clear. I don't think it's right. I want to keep Salah till he retires. In a dream scenario for me, Salah retires here and he breaks all
Oh,
the
100%.
records.
100%.
But because I adore that player, and I think there's three players that have made me fall in love with football a little bit more than anyone else. Him, Suarez, and Gerrard would have been the three players that made me fall because they have it all. They have it. Like, he has it all. He represents Liverpool. He is Liverpool Football Club in a lot of different ways. Salah, everything he does outside the club for charity, for his area, everything, how he speaks, how he leads by example, and everything he's achieved at the club, because he's achieved everything.
Mm.
Him leaving would be. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say he could be in the conversation for top 3 Liverpool players of all time.
He is. For me, listen, I had this conversation with my stepdad the other day. Now, my stepdad watched Liverpool, obviously, in their prime, his 70s and 80s. I said to him, I was like, where does Mo Salah rank? You've seen them all. Where does Salah rank? You've seen a lot more football than me. You've seen 3 decades more football than me. Where does he rank?
Well,
Yep. Hey, listen, ruthless, isn't it? But he has. And he said he's top 5. He's top 5 now.
yeah, he's got to be. Yeah, he's definitely top 5.
So if he's top 5 now, if he had 2 more years of football, even if he just has a phenomenal season this year, that's where he is. And you see in the chat there, someone says he's Liverpool's greatest ever Premier League player.
Jamie.
I can't say that because I grew up watching Gerrard. I can't say that. I just can't. It would be. It feels wrong to say it, right?
Mike, listen. I've seen a few people say this now. I've seen a few people say this.
It's revisionist. I refuse.
The argument is, and we could be here discussing this all night. You compare the teams that been playing with some of the dross that Gerrard had to carry, and literally his own 2 shoulders was insane. But big up, Jamie. I've seen your comment as well just then. Always good to see you, mate. Check out Jamie Phillips Football Chats, guys. Absolute amazing content creator. Does streams pretty much every other day or every day. It's crazy. But yeah, I hope you're well, mate. Yeah, my thing with Salah is, I'll be brutally honest, mate. If this bid came in the first week of the window, then I think it's pretty clear we probably would have accepted it. I think they would have been very excited with the prospect of having that 150 million plus whatever they had, which we now know is 130 million on top of that, which we have spent. So, that would have given us like 250 to 300 million to spend this summer. So then we probably would have got the centre back. We probably would have got all these other positions, but at what cost? Mo Salah. And it's a no-brainer for me. If you tell me you can sell Mo Salah this summer and rebuild every other position, or you can get a few midfielders and keep Mo Salah, I'm picking to keep Mo Salah all day, every day. There's no conversation to be had.
No.
And that seems to be the club's stance as well. That you say, and I think somebody asked a comment earlier, does this mean that he can't go? No, he can still go 100%. But like Mike said, Harvey Elliott, Ben Doak as the right wing replacements now with 15 minutes to go. There's no way that's going to happen.
No.
We'd probably, I still think we'd get 4th just about without, or maybe not actually. Maybe that's another conversation to be had. But it's just too much of a risk. You can't replace those 30 goals that he is inevitably going to get this season for us, because he will play in the Europa League at some stage, whether it's the knockouts or whatever. He will. Mo Salah loves to play football matches. So that's going to happen. So he's going to get 30 goals this season. You can't replace those. As much as I love Harvey and Ben Doak, you can't replace 30 goals with those 2 players. The club have said, as per David Ornstein and Paul Joyce, that the case is closed. He's not going this summer. What we've got to do now as a fan base is, for once, trust the club in what they're saying. I know people find it very hard to do that, but just try and do it. Trust the manager, first of all, because he's been the one that has led this whole thing. No, Mo's happy here. He's not for sale. We haven't had a bid. Even if we did, the answer would be no. In his words, in Jurgen Klopp's words. So if something happens now, with the last week of the Saudi window being open, and they go back on that. Klopp's left with egg on his face. The club's left with egg on their face. They all look like absolute idiots and liars and hypocrites. And yeah, we're just in an absolute mess. Mo Salah, for me, you can clip this all you want. He's not going anywhere this summer. I think, like Mike said, I think if you sort of make a gentleman's agreement with him, if he does really want to go to Saudi, I don't think we can stand in his way for that. For what he's done for
No.
this club for over the last 7 years, you're well within your rights to leave. You know, if you want to get that last sort of, and I don't want to disrespect going to that league too much, but you know, let's be honest, it is to get the bag. So,
Bro,
if he
disrespect
can
it because it deserves
quadruple,
to be
quintuple his
disrespected.
wage, yeah, sort of give him a gentleman's agreement, Mike. You give us this season, next season, you know, we won't stand in your way.
Yeah, listen, the way I view Saudi League, and I'm going to make this very clear because I don't want it to come across the wrong way. It's the same way I view the MLS, and it's the same way I view the league that they were trying to
Chinese
build in
one as
China,
well.
right?
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the area. It's nothing to do with anything. They are trying to buy football culture. The MLS tried to do it and they failed. So they changed the whole system and they had to. Now the difference is that the MLS in China were not financially sustainable.
The
The
government.
Saudis are. The Saudis got money to burn. Fair play, go for it. But the issue is as a result of that, they are kind of burning down the football constitution as it is. And I don't mean that in a bad way or a good way or whatever. It's just what's happening. You buy and you constantly take the best players. I seen someone bring up the arguments that, and I don't want to make it about this, but I just want to make this point because it does link back to Salah. Someone said, listen, all they're doing is exactly what the Prem are doing. They're buying the best players. Massive difference. It's a massive difference. England was built on football. There's a whole culture around it. The quality is here. The quality of the league, the competition is here. You don't have that over there. Now, maybe they're trying to build that and good luck to them, but it's just frustrating. And maybe I'm just saying that because I'm passionate and I'm worried we're going to lose Salah and lose
Listen,
more star players.
let's not kid ourselves, Mike. He's their crown jewel. He
Yeah,
is.
no, he is. He is.
You know, he fits in with the culture there. You know, he is the player that they want to end with. He's almost their end goal. They've got
I
Ronaldo,
feel
they've
like
got
that. Yeah.
Neymar, but they're not stopping there. Any other league in the world, look at the MLS with Messi. They're just absolutely gassed to have the best player. And look, he is the best player of all time, so it's a bit different in
Yeah.
their league. But Saudi, look at the names they've got now. They've got Ronaldo, they've got Neymar, they've got Mahrez,
Harmony.
they've got Mane, they've got all these names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner last year. But
Mhm.
they're not stopping, Mike. They won, and they are going to keep pushing for Salah. And this is where we have to see how serious this football club is now. You
Do you
know,
think
if
there's
we,
any situation where he stays next season as well? So he
yeah,
stays, he
there's
gets this
always,
season. You think there's a situation where we have him next year as well?
there's always a chance that he stays again. I don't think he will because I don't
Mm.
think that Saudi money is going anywhere for him. For
No.
us, we might get less of a fee next summer, and that's something that they'll have to just take on the chin. You know, now it can be 175 to 200. If we sell him next summer, it probably drops to just shy of 100 to 100 because he'll be 32. You know, it won't be a deadline day sort of thing. You know, the money's there now because we can't do anything about it, so they have to pay a premium on top, right? But if they
Mm.
come in June with an offer, it's not going to be anywhere in that mark, and that's something that they've got to weigh up. Is it worth having Mo Salah for this season now and getting less money, or selling him for more money now?
Mm.
Absolutely not. You keep Mo Salah. You try and win the Europa League now. You try and win the cups. You try and get the absolute most out of him that we can. And look, let's be honest, it's already been an incredible amount.
Yeah.
And then if it is to be next summer, you shake his hand and you part ways. For now, there's just no chance for me that he goes with a week to go. They're gonna keep coming. They're
No.
gonna keep knocking.
They'll keep
But
knocking
like
on
I
the
said,
door, and like
this is where
I
John
understand
Henry has
that.
to get his what's out and whack him on the table and make a stance.
Yeah, listen, whatever happens, happens. I do think he ends up out there. I think no matter what, he does end up out there, probably next season. It's a shame, but it is what it is. And like I understand the appeal of it too, and you're right, he's the crown and jewel in a lot of ways, as he would be for anyone, as he would be for any club. It's a shame it's ending the journey soon. I feel like we all thought we'd have had him for a couple more years if you asked a year or so ago. I don't think anyone thought it'd be coming around the corner like this. So I do think this is the last season. How much he goes for next year, I don't know. Maybe 100, 120. I would have absolutely loved Diaby. I would have absolutely loved him. He's going to do unbelievable things at Villa this season as well.
But now, you know, that's 80 to 100, isn't it? If you want to get him from Villa, if he has a good season.
This is the thing. He's out the way. I don't know about you, but the only player I can see a Liverpool signing in the Prem at the moment to replace Salah, and this isn't
Saka.
one. I love Saka, but again, that's like
It's different
150 mil.
profile though, isn't it? He's not
But
going to get the
still,
goals.
it's
He had
gonna
his
be,
best season ever last season, and he got 15, I think.
mate. Yeah, but he's only
Darwin
like
Núñez got
21.
15 goals.
Yeah, but he's 21, bro. And he's a winger,
I know, man, but
bro.
that
We'll end up signing Jared Bowen.
that's the other point, though. That is the other point. There's just nobody out there. If you sell Mo Salah, whether it be now or next summer, the profile for that spot has to completely change, and you have to maybe split those 30 goals
Mm,
with 3, 4, 5 players because unless you're Kylian Mbappe, you're not coming in and getting those numbers. No one is, unless somebody just like Mo Salah did. To be fair, he was a bit of a late bloomer, 24, I think it was, where he had his first sort of. Or no, it would have been a bit younger because I think we signed him at about 24, 25. So probably like 22, 23 when he was getting loaned out to Fiorentina and Roma. I think he was getting double digits for those clubs.
mm,
So there are going to be players out there that maybe bloom into what he has been, but very unlikely. Players like Mo Salah are generational. You know, they're once in a lifetime. You look at the numbers he's got, the records he's broken. It is priceless, and
mm,
very few football players are priceless. You know, people
mm.
say every player's got a price. Wouldn't sell Mo Salah tonight if they came in with 300 million.
Can't say
I'm
no to
being
that, I suppose.
serious. I'm being
Yeah,
serious. If for 300, if we just got a dagger from Ornstein with 5 minutes to spare, LTI have come in 300 million, 250 up front, 50 if they win the league. The answer is no, because what can we do with that money until January? Nothing. It makes no sense.
yeah. I do think. I mean, dream scenario won't happen. To be clear, I know this won't happen, but dream scenario come January, Mbappe. Salah's going.
Listen, we've flirted with Mbappe in the past. Never
I mean,
say
we could
never.
actually afford him this time.
He wants out of PSG, and everyone said that this season he was the one he was going to get out of PSG and go to Real
Still not
Madrid,
gone.
and
Still
that's
not
not
gone.
happened. He's still there.
He's still going to go on a free at the end of the year. I think that's absolutely insane. I think it's
Maybe
insane.
not to Real
Mbappe on a
Madrid
free.
though.
That's fair. Yeah, he's holding out for Madrid, but he's got.
Imagine
Listen,
if we could strike some sort of agreement now. We let Salah go next summer
mm.
with the obviously Mbappe going on a free. It's not a free because the fees and the wages were
Oh
just
yeah,
going
yeah,
crazy. But if we use that money to get him, this ain't happening, by the way. But
yeah.
that is for me the only scenario where I will be happy with letting Salah go to get Kylian Mbappe.
I'll tell you this: if the only situation next summer I'd be happy letting Salah go would be as if, let's say, Salah.
Look,
So
we
yeah,
don't think he's gonna come. We're just saying
I
that
read that. Literally, that's why I laughed. That's why I
that's the
laughed.
only scenario
We're
where
joking.
I would consider letting Salah go.
Listen,
And
if he
Saka,
went,
yeah,
yeah,
Saka does have English tax. He's
he
spot
does.
on.
If he went, listen, if Salah goes next summer, the only way I think I'd be happy personally is if that money got reinvested to the same quality that the Coutinho money did, where we go buy two first team
Game
revolutionary
changers.
players, just like here's a game changing centre back, here's a game changing winger, or here's a game changing six, and here's a game changing winger. If we do that, I will shut up and I will just go, all right, that was really sad that he's gone, but happy days. Which is what we have to do. But listen, I don't know whether I trust our recruitment anymore. I,
No, the answer's no.
no. Like you keep pulling up these comments, bro. Like no. 200
Sorry to
Right.
be telling you guys no all the time, but
Everyone that you
just
list there is either a midfielder, left side, down the center. You've listed one right winger in that list,
look.
bro.
I'm one of the biggest Ben Doak advocates
I love him.
you'll find. He's an absolute gem, and I think he's going to
Love him.
be a top player. Same with
Yes.
Harvey Elliott. You know, a lot of our fans love to bash the kid. I've still got massive hopes of Harvey Elliott, but
Massive.
this is Mohamed Salah. Let me say those two words to you again. This is Mohamed Salah, right? I love all of these guys that are on the screen. Darwin Núñez gave me the best football experience of my life last week. The best. Will never be topped. But he's not Mohamed Salah. Jota, love him to pieces. He's not Mohamed Salah. Gakpo, he ain't going to score goals anyway because he's not that sort of player. He might get 15, but come on. Like,
Yeah, it's
no.
Firmino,
But my
Bill.
point is 250 million is insane money in any other circumstance, like I keep saying. If it was the first couple of weeks of the window, the club would accept that and the club would reinvest. We can't We can't so. Okay, let me put this straight to you. Yeah, for anybody that's listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, shout out Sports Social. By the way, we're now part of the Sports Social podcast network, which is
Bro, no,
amazing.
stop.
No. Those guys can't see the comments, but basically, people are suggesting that we can let Salah go now and be okay until January. We're rocking up to the Etihad as a front three of Luis Diaz, Nunes, and Ben Doak. No, just no. Absolutely not.
Could be quite the game.
Yeah, and Orthodox says bring back Lazar Markovic. Do you remember his red card? Do you remember? Yeah. What did he do then?
Bro, what when he got a little poke in the eye?
That's the one, yeah.
Bro, I tell you what, Lazar Markovic almost scored one of the greatest goals I ever seen.
Oh, the volley.
That volley was against Sunderland.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Something like that. It was. I'll tell you what, it was Omar. That would have resurrected his career. Him playing right wing back nearly resurrected his career. It was unbelievable.
Right, it's 2 minutes left till the deadline of the summer transfer window, guys. We've said everything we need to say on it, and I can assure you it will never be spoken on again.
I'll give you one last question, Ben. Right?
Go on.
And then this is it. The last time I'll ask you this season. Tell me. All right, I'm gonna get 3, and everyone in the chat needs to answer 2. All right,
let's get ready.
I need to know, where do you guys think we're gonna finish?
Ooh.
Who do you think will be our standout player? Can't say Salah. And will we or will we not win a trophy? Everyone answer in the chat. Ben, give me your answer.
I think we'll finish second. I think we'll surprise people this season. I'm not sure what sort of second it will be, whether City are going to storm it again, but I think City will win the league. I think the business they've done is nuts. They've let players go, they've replaced them really well. Second or third, I think we'll finish, but I'm going to say second because I'm always the optimist. I never write these guys off. People bash me for it all the time. Shut up. If you're not going to aim high, what's the point in supporting your football club? What's the point in paying your hard-earned cash to say we're going to finish 4th? You know what I mean? Respectfully, I'm not paying my hard-earned cash to go and watch these lads in hope that we finish 4th. I'm paying my money to hope that we're going to go and compete and be a juggernaut once again. And I believe we can be. We've still got the best manager at the helm. We've signed some decent players. We've got a really good foundation. I think we'll finish second. Third will be the lowest, but second I think is doable. What was the second question? Who's
who will be the standout player? Also, some great answers in the chat, guys. Keep them going.
I think our standout player, in terms of making
who's going to be the player that makes everyone go, "Wow, what a season he had"? You think Salah? Okay, but and then the final one: will we win a trophy or trophies? Yes. And if so, which one?
We're winning one minimum.
What's it going to be?
Europa League. Have you seen that group? Have you seen the teams that are in that competition?
I have seen that group. I have. Actually, I was going to ask. I'm trying to figure out where half of them teams are from. I don't even have a look.
Exactly. If we look,
no disrespect, man, by that. But
no, there's no disrespect. But I think obviously teams are going to drop into the Europa League from the Champions League. That's fine. But the way I looked at the Champions League groups, apart from the group Newcastle's in with like Milan, Dortmund, PSG, every other group has 2 standout teams, which unless there's any major upsets, they're going to go through as bookies' favourites to go through. So the teams that are left, I did a tweet about it. I can't remember who they were, but none of them looked great. I actually said Newcastle aren't going to make out in the group. I got cooked for it, but I stand by it. I think it will be PSG and Milan in that group or Dortmund. I don't think Newcastle will get through.
Okay.
But anyway, my point is we're going to be the best team in that competition up until May. We're going to score 25 goals minimum in the groups. We're probably going to win every game. That means we skip the round of 32. We played around the 16 straight away. And yeah, I think, to be honest, it would be almost embarrassing if we didn't win that competition. So that one is the one I'm banking on, as you know, we're definitely, surely going to win it. Domestic cups have been nice for us. Obviously, last season wasn't too good with the Brighton defeat and getting City just after the World Cup. I think it was very harsh. But season before, we took them seriously. We won them both. So yeah, I'd say top 4 finish, a good top 4 finish, not a battle until the last few weeks. And then 1 trophy minimum, 2 realistically. Listen, I'm more than happy. Trophies is the currency of success. I don't
Okay.
care. People told me 21-22 was a failure. No, it wasn't. We won 2 trophies. So
All right.
I don't care if that's old school. That's how my
No,
brain
no.
works. So yeah.
I bet I'm with you. Listen, I'm gonna say mine. Then Ben and I are gonna go through your answers, guys. So make sure you got your answers in the chat. I reckon I'm gonna say third place. I'm humble. I say third
Okay.
place. I think star player is gonna be Nunes.
Woo!
I've got a feeling. I got a feeling, bro. I think him getting fed. Oh, I think yeah. I got a feeling Nunes is gonna have a great season. And then I would say yes to a trophy. I think weirdly, I think it's going to be the FA Cup. I don't know how we'll do in Europa. I hope we do well because the finals in Dublin, and then we can get all the TAT squad to Dublin. Get them all out to.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah,
Listen,
that'll be amazing,
we'll be there. But
bro. Definitely. All
let's
right,
get
let's
into some
go
of
see
these
what everyone's
comments.
saying in the
I'm excited
chat,
about
bro.
this. First of all, I want to just address this. Yeah, by the way, Salah left the training ground today. I think he's
Georgie,
unhappy. Let me
sarcasm.
just Sky Sports News. They are desperate to see this guy go to
Bad.
Saudi. They're on their knees.
They're down bad.
But yeah, let's start. Fourth, Diaz, and yes,
I like
Satad
Diaz.
T-shirt. Tell us what trophy. I'm assuming the yes means you think we're going to win a trophy. Tell us
Yeah.
which trophy.
Shout out
E+1.
to you.
Yeah, shout out to you, mate. Dano says first Allison Prem and Europa League. I mean, historic
Okay.
season that would be.
I mean, that would be unreal.
Let's have a look. I don't want to
Allison's a
get
good shout though.
things aren't
Allison's a really good
realistic.
shout.
Orthodox says first.
Third.
Third, Luis Diaz in Europa League final. So you don't think we're going to win the Europa League? You just think we're going to get to the final? That's interesting.
Sevilla in the final, probably.
Let me know if you think we're going to win it or not. Matt says finish second, standout player, Dom, Sob, win Europa, City win the league by double points. Interesting. We'll finish second, says Olajide. Standout player would be Nunes, same as Mike. We will win Europa and Carabao. I'd be happy with that. Second place in those 2 trophies. Yeah, I'll be. And people always say like, oh, the standard and the bars on the floor. It's not. We're just realistic. City are gonna walk the league. Look at the
We
squad.
all know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Third, Sobo, Europa League. Not bad. Steady season. Salah says Georgie. Good comment. Great comment. He also says Joe Gomez, a standout player.
Hey,
Second,
hopefully that'll be cool.
Bosley and Europa. I take that. Christian Poulsen. The window's now closed, of course. 1, Adrian and quadruple, says Georgie. Georgie's on a mad one tonight, guys. If we don't win Europa League, Matt says something has gone wrong. Absolutely. I agree with that. Newcastle will top Dortmund, by the way. Listen, I'm a firm believer in UCL heritage tax, and Newcastle don't have it. So those big European nights where you're away from home, you've got to have it in you to win those games. We all hate Newcastle, of course. First, Adrian. All right, these guys are trolls.
We're so fake. We had a Newcastle geezer on, and he was lovely, and we just
until he came off the stream, mate, and he started atting me on Twitter. Nah, he was only joking, to be fair.
Oh, bro, I thought you were dead serious. Oh, bro,
he made a video about when we were talking about the Trent thing.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I thought that was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it was funny. But guys, the window's shut. We've got our squad. Conclusion, Mike. Are you happy? Satisfied?
7 out of 10. Let's bring on the season. Let's see what happens. I'm excited. Thank you guys for joining us on the journey over the summer. Be with us throughout the season. We're only going to keep developing. We have some great ideas, some great guests. We have a lot of good, got a lot of big things coming, a lot of great things coming at the Anfield Talk Pod, brother. So thank you guys very much as always.
Absolutely. And as it happens, I'm always happy with this club. It's the one thing that, keeps me going in life. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind ticking. Sometimes they frustrate the life out of me, but games like last week make it all worthwhile. So, yeah, I'm happy. I think we'll be okay. As long as Klopp's here, I think we'll be fine. So, yeah, guys, like Mike said, absolutely massive thanks to everybody that's tuned in to us, rambling on about Mateus Nunes and Manu Kone all summer. We're not going to do it anymore. We are now at the end. We've got our players. We've got Ryan Gravenberch. He is the main man on everyone's lips today. We might get a glimpse of him at Anfield on Sunday, but if not, we'll see plenty of him after the international break. So take care, guys, and we'll see you on Sunday for the Aston Villa match reaction. Take care.